Here we are at the cathedral. This is the largest church in Glendalough and one of the largest known early Christian churches in Ireland. The church was originally dedicated to Saints Peter and Paul, but ceased to be a cathedral in 1214. The earliest part of the church is the nave, with its projecting antennae to support the roof trusses. In the 12th century, the chancel, with its finely decorated area, was ruined, was added, and later, together with the sacristy and a new doorway, was inserted in the north wall. In the chancel are a medieval and some Christian gravestones, one of the double inscriptions asking for a prayer for Darmot, for Macaus. Nearby is a large monolithic St. Kevin's cross of uncertain date. And as we tour the inside of this beautiful structure, formerly cathedral, I'm looking onto a high tower, which was a hiding place for the monks, but also a place to indicate to visitors where the monastery and cathedral was. Of course, it's surrounded by the graves of many people through the ages. And over in the distance, a little church of St. Kevin's. It's the ruins of a church of St. Kevin. Because it was a monastic community, there are many little structures. Here's another one. So let's go into this church as we continue the spiritual journey through Ireland with Friends of the Word. We are in the main body of the church, looking onto the focus of the sacristy and the sanctuary. Beautiful large window, stoned up for protection from the elements. Little gravestones lit nearby. And notice the windows, which are large for light coming in, but they radiate outwards, and the light coming in radiates into the church. Probably easy to cover up during inclement weather. We are in one of the earliest structures, and if we look at the detail of the arch that would have entered the sanctuary, it's beautiful medieval detail of a zigzag design. The structures, of course, stone, typical, and the large stone base is said to go back to the 11th century. We're in the Cathedral of Saints Peter and Paul, looking at some of the monuments. This one dates from 1750. As we exit the church, we're going to see the high tower and eventually the high cross, dedicated by the monks to various people who died in the area. As we continue our journey, we notice the rustic sculpture, the lintel, and now we exit the church and face ahead, a little chapel, and to the right, this beautiful high tower that goes back to 1,000 years. High crosses are visual images of faith, and this particular styled high cross, which is the cruciform with the radiation of the corpus from the corpus of Christ, represents faith in the community, of course. And this is the one that Fiona from the gift shop told us that if we put our arms around it and make a prayer, our prayer will come true if our fingers can touch. So I'm going to try to do that. I'm going to have to take a nice deep breath while I do it. Hang on for 1 second. Well, I'm hugging the cross anyway in faith. A prayer of peace for people of Ireland, a prayer of peace for people throughout the world. This has been Father Louis with Spiritual Journey Through Ireland. We're in the little chapel that we believe was St. Kevin's. It's a little chapel, and it's closed off, cozy and dark, no known windows, rounded roof in the inside, and outside it goes to a pinnacle. It's a tiny place, maybe 30 by 20, but filled with monks. It may have been warmed up. We notice up on the top sort of an area that would have led to the bell tower, which also provides for the passing of smoke, incense, candle wax smells. Here alongside it, we see a tiny little room that has light, has a window. It could have been for the preservation of meats or other areas that the monks used to eat. And we're going around the outside of it. A lot of tourists here today, which is very nice. And all these little outhouses as we look up to the tower, the Campanile, with windows. Beautiful history of monastic communities in Ireland. This has been Father Louis with Friends of the Words, touring Wicklow County in Glendalough. This is Father Lou. We're continuing our spiritual journey through Ireland, and we're here at a round tower, which were campaniles, or bell towers of the early Irish monasteries, and we used to summon the monks to prayer. This tower is 100 feet high, has 6 floors with wooden landings. The top story, 4 windows, 12 feet above the ground was the first step, presumably with a movable ladder, which those inside could pull up to prevent an enemy from following them into the tower. The use of the hole just above the ground area is unknown. This tower was probably built between 900 and 1200 BC by the Irish monks who occupied this area of Glendalough. It's a beautiful structure in the center of what is now a large cemetery. And of course, through the years, the cemeteries were local parish cemeteries, and people would come, bury their dead. Started out as the monastery cemetery, but then extended to the community. This has been Father Louis, continuing our spiritual journey in Ireland, across the Midlands. Thank you for joining us, and we hope you are enjoying this series. Pass them on to your family and friends, and let me hear from you. FatherLouScurti@hotmail.com. From Ireland, God bless you.